Okay, fine. So good evening, all of you. Welcome to the third and the final live session for the NPTEL MOOCs course on multi-core computer architecture. So 12 weeks of learning has already been complete, and you also got a chance to check how well you are able to adapt to these courses by engaging in the weekly assignments. I hope it was a good exercise for all of you in getting to know about the internals of the subject. We start from the very fundamentals of the execution of an instruction from a program, learning processors, caches, DRAMs, GPUs, and then slowly moving into advanced multi-core architectures, domain-specific accelerators, so network on chip, and tiled chip multi-core processors. And we had a case study also on the latest Vega processor environment. So I wanted to take this opportunity to congratulate all of you in going through this 12 weeks of time. I'm sure that if you are a regular student, then you might be already going through your routine classwork. But because of this, you may have to spend some extra time. So I'm sure that some of these lectures are little time consuming, and then you may have to pause and go through again. But I'm sure that you might have got some enhanced knowledge with respect to what the subject is. So now I will open up to the questions if at all anyone have. We have some set of pre-loaded questions. If you are still having access to the email, you can post your queries there, and then we will be able to see that live, and then I'll get back to you. But if those who are already present in the forum, if they wanted to directly ask question, we can provide unmuting them, and then you can ask. Please raise the hand if you have the option. I hope I am audible now. Yes. Yes, please speak. So we could see Shashank asking a question. Shashank, please unmute and speak.
Hi, Professor. My question is, how does voltage direct the light? I didn't understand that in this network on chip about the optical interconnect. So it was mentioned about the voltage diverting light.
Yeah. Okay.
So can you explain how does that?
Yeah, I will tell that. So this photonic NoC is an emerging field. The purpose of introducing that lecture in the course was just to give you a flavor of, rather than electrical NoC, we have optical and wireless NoCs. As we all know that optical NoCs, wherein the medium of communication is optical cables, which are laid inside the chip. And then we know that the light is being composed of different frequency and different wavelength component together, right? From violet indigo up to that, and then you have the infrared, the ultraviolet radiation apart. So we are making use of the electromagnetic property of the light, and when you apply an external voltage, the amount of swing that you get based upon the wavelength is going to be different. So when you apply one particular voltage, then the way in which the system responds, since I'm not going deeper into that in the lecture, the way how the system responds when a given voltage, for example, V is applied, the system responds in one way. And then so I can actually deviate the light into one path. And when a different voltage is applied, I can deviate into a different path. So depending upon the response of a system, the response of a light by applying a voltage, different frequency signals or different wavelength signals can have different response. This essentially will contribute to your 1 and 0. So I have covered it in a very naive way. But if someone is very interested in exploring further about how nanophotonics works, then I recommend you to further read on the material. And maybe Shyam can type it up in the chat box. You are about Professor Sudeep Pasricha from Colorado State University. He is the one who have extensively worked in photonic NoC. And there are a couple of papers which talks about the fundamentals of photonic NoC. But I'm sure, so I know that in the lecture, we have not gone deeper into it because in one lecture, I was covering 3 different topologies and techniques. So the name of the professor is Professor Sudeep Pasricha. In the meantime, in the chat window, we will share that. Shyam can do the background work.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks, Professor. I'll refer the papers.
Yes, yes. Okay. So do we have anyone who would like to ask any further question on it? Thanks, Shyam, for sharing. So, Shashank, you can see that is a Google Scholar link of Professor Sudeep Pasricha.
Yes, I got it. Thank you.
So anyone else have any other query? Please raise your hand option, use the raise the hand option, and then we can call up your name, and then we can ask your queries. That can be pertaining to the exams, that pertaining to the final exam. If you're writing the exam, is doubt with respect to any topic, I would be happy to address. So if anyone has any query, kindly put it. In the meantime, I will try to address what are the basic doubts that you have in the meantime. So let me go to some of the queries that has come up now. So one is about the important topics or important week for exam purpose. So let me try to clarify this. The exam will cover up all the 12 weeks. There is all the 12 weeks module that is been there. And there is nothing in computer architecture when you talk about something is important, something is not important. If something is not important, we will never teach you. That won't be part of the syllabus at all. But if you're looking from an examination pass perspective, then I will tell about the mode of exam or what is the coverage of the syllabus and what are the types of the questions that I will share in a brief while now. But overall, having a thorough understanding of the assignment questions would be an added advantage. You can go through the assignment question. There are 12 weeks, close to 8 to 9 questions per week. Some are 1 mark questions, some are 2 mark questions. So revisiting the assignment questions and trying to do it by yourself will give you a good upper hand. Some of the questions or the patterns that has been asked in the assignments would be revisited. But we have more or less given an equal weightage to almost all the topics, but little emphasis is given more to cache memory concepts, in the network on chip concepts, and in out of order scheduling Thomas-Ulo algorithm and the branch prediction. So you can expect little higher order level questions from this as well. So then someone is asking in YouTube, where the YouTube streaming has been done, how to revise the whole 12 weeks in 1 week. So I am extremely sorry that I don't have any magic band by which I can tell you how can you revise. Since the date of the exam was been known, I generally hope that the students would have started preparation early. But if at this point, if you have not started preparation, then the best way that you can do is go and try to solve as much assignment questions as possible. So that close to 100 questions, you are now getting familiarity, and that will give you at least some kind of a comfort as far as the pass is concerned. And there can be some topics which are a little hard for you. Some may find the branch prediction hard. Some may find Thomas-Ulo's algorithm scheduling hard. Some may find GPU hard. So skipping 1 or 2 topics won't be a problem if you're looking for a 60 to 70% of marks. But if someone is targeting for more than 85% of marks, then you may have to be very thorough with the assignments and very thorough with the videos. Kindly go through them again. I will talk about the pattern in a little while, but then if there are any other questions, I'll talk about what are the kind of questions, the pattern, everything I will tell. But if there are any other questions, I will try to take them. There is a question from Manish about will there be integer type questions also? Yes, we have. We have integer type question. I will talk about the pattern. So Lysias or Shyam, if there is any question in YouTube, kindly update me so that I can answer them as well.
Okay, sir.
So there is one more question. What are the limitations of running a single program or process in multiple cores? So that's a very good question. Thank you. So the question is been asked about, you have a single program and then you have multiple cores that is available. So can you do? What are the pros and cons of it? What are the limitations for it? So the biggest limitation is if the single program, there is not enough parallelism in the program. If all the lines are more or less dependent, then I cannot do it in multiple places. But if the program has a lot of inherent parallelism inside it, where there exists less dependency between at least a few instructions, then I can port some instructions to be executed in a different core or different processor. So it's kind of a scattering the result and then gathering it back. But this completely depends upon, we have not many multi-threaded applications where if you have few threads that can run on a different core, and ultimately it will lead to a faster execution. So in that way, this is going to be helpful. So that's the answer to that question. Okay, now coming into the exam pattern. So we have total of 100 marks and the exam is a computer based exam. And these 100 marks are being categorized into 3 roughly, but then you will get the sections mixed coming. It won't be coming all 1 mark, 2 mark together. So we have taken, since there are 12 weeks, there are 24 questions into section 1. This 24 questions are MCQ type questions, multiple choice question, roughly 2 questions from each week. They are simple recall type questions, and basically they would be from the assignment or some simple recall concept that is being taken from the video lecture as such. Or if you go through the slides and then it may be some fill in the blanks or missing statements. So it's basically check your recall capacity. So that will contribute 24 marks. And then we have another 24 mark questions, each of 2. So 24 questions into 2 marks. So first category is section 1, which have 24 questions, 1 mark each. Next is we have section 2 with the 24 questions of 2 marks each. So they can be multiple select questions. There can be more than one. So given multiple choices that is been given, you were asked to click 1 or more correct answers. So these questions may have more than 1 correct answers, and some of the questions are of numerical answer type, where the answer is going to be an integer or it can be a fraction with some rounding. So these are all little higher level thinking. So that's why it has been given 2 mark, and this also cover up all the 12 weeks with equal weightage to each of the weeks. There will be 2 questions, or rather 4 marks from each of the weeks. So 12 into 4, 48. So the first 24 mark of MCQ, the next 48 mark of MSQ, multiple select questions or numerical answer type questions, that will contribute to 48 plus 24, that is 72 marks. And then the last one is I have specially focused on certain topics which are of 7 weeks. And from each of these little higher level thinking, this last 28 mark is a slightly higher level. Typically the kind of questions that you see in the assignment, where at the end of the assignment you have 2 mark questions. So in line with those questions, some questions are being framed, and then these questions may carry either 3 mark or 4 mark or 1 3 mark, 1 4 mark. So 7 weeks are being chosen. So this 7 week roughly it includes instruction pipelining and hazards. Then next is branch prediction. Then is dynamic Thomas-Ullrich scheduling. And then we have cache memory optimization. And then we have DRAM or main memory. And then we have network on chip. And the last one is tiled chip multi-core processor. So these are the 7 weeks wherein you can expect little higher level order question. And then accordingly, we will try to add up things in this. So this is the overall kind of profile. So if you are very thorough with the assignments, and if you know how to solve assignment questions by now, then it is very easy to get close to 80 to 85% marks. And if you really understand the subject well, then it's very easy to score 85 plus. So that is the comment that I wanted to give it to you regarding this. So there are integer type questions. It is not only integer, there can be floating point number questions as well. So it's basically we will tell numerical type questions, either whole numbers or fractions. And all conventions what is being told, regarding how the numbering is set 0, set 1, set 2. And the NOC numbering is from bottom left to 0 all the way up to the top right. So the standard numbering conventions would be followed and it will not be mentioned in the question paper. What is the standard numbering? So another question from the YouTube video is, if the data is frequently changing and if there is a tendency for an increase in the number of compulsory misses, would caches be beneficial for such a design? So it's a very good question. I will rephrase the question. If the data is frequently changing and if there is a tendency of an increase in the number of compulsory misses, would caches be beneficial for such a design? So very good. At least some students are able to understand in depth of the cache. So here you are talking about your access pattern. The kind of addresses given by CPU are going to be completely random, such that there is no temporal locality and there is no spatial locality. Then will a cache help? So in this case, a cache may not be helpful. A cache is helpful only if an address location is accessed in the near future. Again, that is temporal locality, or its adjacent locations are being accessed. That is called spatial locality. If spatial and temporal locality aspect is not there, that means you are completely generating random addresses, then cache memory may not be of much helpful because every address will incur into a miss in the cache memory. So that will lead to compulsory miss. Anyway, you have to go to the main memory and then bring it. That is the answer for it. So an unbalanced length of pipeline would increase speed up or decrease the speed up. So this is a question. Let's say you have 20, 30 and 40, 20, 20 and 20. So what happens is if it is 20, 20 and 20, then you will get the advantage of your pipeline would be able to complete your pipeline activity in lesser amount of time, and that will increase the speed up. That is what you get. So that is the answer for it. So Shashank, you have one more question. Yes, Shashank?
Yeah, hi, Professor. Yeah, actually, recently, like one of the students mentioned about parallelizing the application, right? So I worked on a project where I parallelized my application to process files in parallel. So I'm asking if I can share that in this chat. Is it okay to share it? It's a GitHub link.
Yes, not a problem. You
okay,
can
thank
share.
you.
So one of the participant of the course, Shashank, is sharing some additional information about parallelizing programs and then how it has been done. So thank you, Shashank, for adding that. You can see it in the chat box. And probably the admin can copy this one into the YouTube chat box as well if someone wanted to go through. So where can we find extra questions for practice? That is one question that has been asked in YouTube. So we are not putting up any extra practice questions. So whatever is the pattern that is being talked in the assignment, and then carefully go through the tutorials. Every week there was a tutorial video. So there are some statements, some numerical problems. So little higher level questions are being solved in tutorial. I request you to go through the tutorial thoroughly if you really wanted to understand the topic. So there are no other special questions that is being shared. So tutorial videos would be of helpful. So any more questions? So Anamika, please unmute and speak. Anamika, you are muted. Can you please unmute? So there is some problem with respect to Anamika. Once she joined back, we could able to address. Anyone else? Any other query? So there were some administrative questions that somebody asked. They forgot their username. Is it possible? So as a faculty administrator, I don't have access to it. You can contact to NPTEL office. Their IIT Madras backend support team would be able to do. Change of sender will not be allowed at this point. I think they have made all the arrangements. It's hardly 1 week from now. So change of sender preference will not be given. And there is a mistake in the exam spelling sender. If you wanted that, it can kindly report the matter to the NPTEL background team at Madras. So they will be able to help you if there is any change in the spelling, so that in the final scorecard, it has been addressed. So there's a question from Rakov. What are the important topics or weeks for the exam? I told all 12 weeks carries question. So, but then there are certain weeks which I already mentioned, that the pipelining, instruction pipelining, branch prediction, dynamic scheduling using Thomas Solo's algorithm, cache memory, mapping, then optimization, DRAM, network on chip, and tile chip multi-core processors. We'll have little higher order level questions also that has been asked. So the exam is numerical based or theory based. You have roughly 60% of the exam is based on theory based. It's called simple recall. Like we'll be asking which of the following statement is true or false, or which technique is correct, which optimization is correct. So if you call that as theory based, then 60% of the exam is theory, remaining 40% is numerical based. And numerical based is, so what you are going to have in final exam is a little larger version of what you see in the assignment questions. So some of you have solved assignment questions by yourself. Some might have seek the help of your friends. So next 8 days, kindly look into the assignment question and try to solve it by yourself. If you know all the 12 weeks assignment solving by yourself, then even if a similar question come, it won't be a problem for you. You can easily get 60 plus marks. So if somebody is scoring more than 90, and if you would like to do an internship at IIT Guwahati with our research team, then after the exam, once you get the grade card, you can contact us. And you know our mail IDs, you can contact, and then there will be some interview that we conduct. So in the upcoming summer, that is May, June, July time, meritorious students or even faculty members who are taking the AICT approved FDP, if you are able to score really well, and if you wanted to work with us, it's welcome. We do have PhD openings with us. We do have opportunity to work with us as staff in multi-core architecture laboratory that we have. So kindly go through, and then if at all there is anything that you wanted to access, then we would be happy to assist you. So we look forward for students who have a good background in multi-core architecture to come and explore the research with us. It can be internship ranging from 6 weeks to 8 weeks in the month of May, June, July. And then campus accommodation would be given at subsidized cost. And if someone is looking forward for a PhD program, then if you have GATE score, then you can apply for PhD program. Now the December admissions call at IIT Guwahati is open. And then you need any kind of an input regarding PhD program and all, then we would be hosting a separate meeting for those interested. So kindly respond back if any such query that you have regarding higher studies. If some of you wish to take up a higher studies course for internship programs. So for internship, the cutoff is, we put it as 90. Because since there are close to 7,000 students writing exam, so we have kept 90 as the cutoff. So that's all with respect to the course. If there are no other questions, then we would like to wind up. From background team also, let me see, there are no other questions. Okay. So Gaurav Sharma, please unmute and speak.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Gaurav.
So there is not visible the week two slides.
Week 2 slides.
Yes, sir.
Is this the problem faced by all others? So if that is the case, I request Sham and team in the backend to just check it out and so resolve this issue. If there is any visibility of week 2 slides.
Yes, yes, sir. It is resolved. It is resolved. It is corrected from our end.
Okay, so now to Gaurav, you can see, and if still there is a problem, you can please update it in the discussion forum. Maybe some flag setting or that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Then anybody else? Any other question? So since it is the last, yes, Gaurav.
So my another doubt is I'm little bit confused in the certification and what type of question and what is the pattern and what is the time, sir? Can you clear it?
I already mentioned that there now. I hope you joined late. If that's the case, did
Yes,
you
sir,
join
yes.
late?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so there would be 100 marks. So you can also watch the YouTube live that is there later. So there would be total of 100 mark. It's a computer-based examination. And there is not descriptive. It's all like either multiple choice or multiple select or numerical answer type questions. Since we have 12 weeks, we will be having first category of question. Section 1, pure recall type question, just to check your memorization capacity. 24 questions. So 2 questions from each week of 1 mark, multiple choice question. Then we have 2 questions from each week. So 24 questions of 2 mark each, which is multiple select choice. There can be more than one answers from the given choice and numerical answer type. So that's of 2 mark question, equal weightage given, 12 weeks, 12 into 2, 24 questions. Each question carries 2 marks, so that is 48. So together that will constitute 72 marks, which is of equal coverage. So 72 marks is equal coverage of type, something similar to the 2 mark question that you see on the assignments. So the last question of every week, slightly numerical type, slightly higher order thinking. It's not that easy to quickly solve. So those are the questions that is being put. So there is not descriptive question, only MCQ, MSQ and numerical answer type question. Roughly 2 to 2.5 hours engagement you will have. So that's a question pattern. Shashank, you have anything else to that? Your hand is raised. Shashank, you have any more query? Okay.
Yes, Professor. I had a question regarding this Gem 5 and lab content.
Yeah. Shyam,
I had
you
a
would like to
question
give?
regarding the Gem 5 and lab content.
Yes, you can ask. You can ask. Shashank, can you be more about what is the query?
Yes, actually, regarding the Gem 5 and the lab content.
Okay, so you wanted to know how it is being done or how are we planning to go about it? Okay, so what we are planning is, because for Gem 5 and all, the advanced topics of multi-core architecture has to be covered. So since we covered it, students who have still interest outside the exam, if they wanted to work with the simulator, we are planning to keep a simulator session. So for that, I have requested the backend team to send a Google form. Shyam, can you please update of what is the progress that we have done in that so that we can have the sessions in November once the exam is over?
Yes, sir. We will soon send all the participants a Google form where any of you have an interest in in attending this class, they can actually fill the form. And once the exam is over, we will conduct a a online session. We will actually inform you about that. You all get a mail very soon regarding this regarding the conduct of workshop, an online session on Gem 5.
Okay, thanks, Shyam, for the update. So just I am summarizing, within 1 or 2 days, you all will get an email where you need to fill up your expression of interest to attend a session on Gem 5. Gem 5 is a simulator which is used to model computer architecture. So some simple exercises we will show you, and then once the installation is done at your end, you can also play around with this simulator in order to generate some meaningful statistics and insights. So since it is not part of the syllabus, it is not part of the examination, we want only interested students or participants in order to do that. So we are planning for somewhere between November 1 and November 15 would be the initial one session for it. You will get an email soon. So those who wanted, you can do the registration. So before we wind up, do you want anyone, any student or any participant who attended the course completely to share any feedback to me? How did the course go? What was your thinking initially? And then how did you find the course? Was it useful? Any other change, anything is required? Not looking only from examination perspective, but overall as far as the learning, the explanation, the tutorials are concerned. I would welcome the feedbacks if any one of you are willing to share it. You can please raise your hands. We will give you a chance to speak. Nitin Kumar, yes.
Sir, can I change our date of birth because the NPTEL exam form detail here, the date of birth is wrong.
So this is what the date of birth that you might have filled. So that is the reason that it has come. If you want any change, you may have to contact the NPTEL because the login is also based on the date of birth. So you may have to contact the NPTEL team. It is not with respect to the local course instructor. These things has to be directly addressed to the NPTEL helpline email.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So anyone wanted to speak anything, or else we are going to wind up? And since this is the last live session, we all may not meet each other like this, maybe in some other subsequent course later. Okay, so I don't see any more new queries or comments. And then, so if that is the case, we will we are going to wind up. Those who joined late, I request you to go through the YouTube channel that has been given so you can rehear what is being told, and then that will clarify most of the queries that has been asked. So wish all of you best and then do well. Don't look at only the mark component. If you learn the subject very well, India as an emerging semiconductor manufacturing hub with a lot of systems companies going to have its footprint or larger footprint. Knowledge in computer architecture is obviously going to be helpful. So one last thing, during the month of November, across 17 venues in the country. So you might have already seen about the case study that has been put under Vega microprocessors. So there is a hands-on training on Vega microprocessors that has been arranged. And then that is happening in 17 different cities. So we will give you the link for that. If anyone is interested, then kindly attend this program. It's a 2-day hands-on workshop. There are 15 venues. So it's a physical workshop. It may be close to your city as well. So we have coverage in Chandigarh, and then we have coverage in Delhi, in Ghaziabad, then in Sikar in Rajasthan, in Bhopal, 2 venues in Hyderabad, then 1 in Vijayawada, 2 venues in Bangalore, in Chennai, in Coimbatore, Cochin, Bombay, and Kolkata. So these are the cities where the program happens, and the training costs you 600 rupees. You can even buy the Vega microprocessor kit that is been available. So I will share the details here in the chat window. Just 1 minute so that people who are interested in this is known as a Vega processor roadshow. And then you can go through, and then if you wanted, you can do the registration for it. And so I'm sharing the link. So I request Sham and Lysias also to copy the link back in the YouTube channel and then give an explanation about this. So this is a very good opportunity to work with the CDAC team. That's why we have put Vega as the case study. So if you wanted to get a hands-on experience of how to work with Vega along with sensors, this is the case. If you're an IEEE member, it will be 500 or 550. If non-IEEE member, it is 650. 2-day hands-on workshop on 15 venues. So you get all the details in this link that has been already shared. So that's all from my side, and thank you for the feedback, and wish to meet you in some other course somewhere, and wishing you all the very best. And special thanks to my teaching assistants and my PhD scholars, especially the lead teaching assistants, Mr. Shyam Shankar, then Rajeshwari Suwans, then Vivekananda. These three were PhD scholars, and Tilisias Anthony, he is the junior research fellow working at IIT Guwahati. So these four people who have really worked hard over these 3 months in clarifying your doubts, helping me in grading the assignments and all. So they have put in a lot of effort during the recording, the proofreading and editing. And special thanks to the Center for Educational Technology. That is a wing which will take care of video recording, editing, and the organizing of all the live sessions. So special thanks to all the members who helped in the video recording, in editing, and in the logistics management of the NPTEL course. So thanks to all of you because of the effort of these background people who may not come in the videos with face, but these are people who have really worked hard to make sure that all of you got a wonderful learning experience. It's not only the instructor, it is a team that delivers. So once again, thank you to all, and thanks to all the people who have joined this course. Wishing you very best. So with this, we conclude this live session, and goodbye.